So there's a lot of mitigating circumstances to keep the death penalty off the table, I think.
Mark Sievers' attorney speaking out as he and Jimmy Rodgers once again face a Lee County judge answering to upgraded murder charges in the brutal death of Bonita Springs Dr. Teresa Sievers.
Now, both Rodgers and Sievers, Teresa's husband, are now charged with first-degree murder, a charge punishable by either death or life in prison if convicted.
4 in your corners, Carl Fortier, live at the Lee County Courthouse right now with more on why Sievers' attorney says the case against his client is questionable. Carl?
Well, a grand jury indicted Mark Sievers and Jimmy Rodgers on first-degree murder charges after the state produced evidence that Sievers and Rodgers, or Sievers hired Rodgers and Curtis Wainwright to kill Mark's wife Teresa. Now Mark's defense attorney says they believe they can prove otherwise.
I'll just reassert that plea of not guilty.
Mark Sievers appeared before a Lee County judge today, as did Jimmy Rodgers, to answer to new charges of first-degree murder in the death of Dr. Teresa Sievers. That carries the death penalty. Attorney Tony Fega, whose firm represents Sievers, says there are mitigating circumstances that should take that punishment off the table.
His 2 kids, no prior criminal record, not a danger to anybody else in society.
It's been almost a year since Teresa Sievers was found dead in her Bonita Springs home, bludgeoned with a hammer. Mark Sievers' longtime friend Curtis Wainwright told detectives that Mark told him he would pay him to kill Teresa with life insurance money. Fega says calling it a murder for hire is a stretch.
I think if you look at the whole context of his statements, they're just not as clear as they would have you believe.
Wright took a plea deal to avoid the death penalty that Sievers and Rodgers both could face.
He got out in front of this file early and for his own advantage. And that certainly affects his credibility.
Fega says he's considering asking the court to move the trial to another county.
What would be the strongest case for moving the venue then?
Well, I think that the media has been sort of in a frenzy over this file.
Now, Fega says that in addition to a question of a venue change for the trial, another question is whether to ask to separate Mark's trial from that of Jimmy Rodgers. Fega says both of those questions have yet to be decided. Live in Fort Myers, Carl Fortier, Fox 4 in your corner.
All right.